Well, a very good afternoon to you again. 7th of July. As you might know, we took a bit of time away from these last week due to preparations for Sunday, the 5th of July, in which by God's grace and goodness towards us we were able to resume in a way of fellowship and coming under the Word of God and sharing in the Lord's Supper, to which was without doubt a joy and edifying. But this week I want to pick up where we were at last week, and we are continuing in this book, The Lord's Prayer by the Puritan Thomas Watson, and we are under the title of The Certainty and the Infallibility of this Kingdom of Glory. We're on number 4, and I'll dive straight into it so we can pick up where we were last at. We were at number 3 last time. Christ prays that the saints may have this kingdom settled upon them. So we were talking about the certainty and the prayer that Christ makes in John 17. Today we move on to number 4, as I have already mentioned. And number 4 reads this: the saints, the believers, that's a word that was used of old, the saints, a word that I think we ought to use even more so. The saints, the set apart ones, must have this blessed kingdom by virtue of Christ's ascension. I ascend unto my Father and your Father, to my God and your God. John 20, verse 17. Where lies the comfort of this? Jesus Christ ascended to take possession of heaven for all believers. As a husband takes up land in another country in behalf of his wife, so Christ went to take possession of heaven in behalf of all believers. What a wonderful thought. I go to prepare a place for you. John 14, verse 2. My ascension is to make all things ready against your coming. I go to prepare the heavenly mansions for you. The flesh that Christ has taken into heaven, listen to this, I ask you today. I'll start that line again. The flesh that Christ has taken into heaven. Remember, he is the incarnate Son of God. He is the one that tabernacled himself amongst us. He is the one that the epistles throughout the Bible tell us that he was made in the likeness of man, that he took on flesh. And Thomas Watson highlights this and gives us a great assurance of our inheritance and our access and our journey, if you like, to the kingdom, or the certainty of our arrival at the kingdom of heaven. And Thomas Watson says this: the flesh that Christ has taken into heaven is a sure pledge that our flesh and bodies shall be where he is ere long. Christ did not ascend to heaven as a private person, but as a public person. For the good of all believers, his ascension was a certain forerunner of the saints ascending into heaven. I don't know how you take that short passage this afternoon. Christ took on flesh. He came and dealt with sin. He came and dealt with death. He died, he was risen again, and he ascended upon high. And be sure of this thing today: to those whom Christ came and purchased, those will enter into this glorious kingdom. How do we know that? Because he conquered death, he conquered sin, and he pleased his Father, sacrificed, accepted, and now he has access for all those who are his, and to all those who are his, for an eternity of peace and joy. What a hope we have, because Christ has purchased not only our salvation, but our inheritance. We are now called, as the epistles again put it, we are now called sons of God, and today we await that kingdom. May the God of heaven be praised for his glorious and his wonderful work. Amen.